Hello, it's nice to be with you at the European Conference on Computing and Construction. And it's unfortunately, the conference is virtual this year, but hopefully next year it's going to be physical. And we're all going to surmount the the COVID pandemic, and hopefully we're going to be in person next year during the conference. Today, I'll be presenting a paper under the infrastructure resilience theme. My paper will be discussing on the importance of having competent project managers in the management of complexity to ensure infrastructure is delivered efficiently. In recent years, studies have shown that infrastructure delivery has been very, very poor. This has been an ongoing discussion in the industry, and we've been the industry stakeholders have been conducting research, practical research, and also academic research to ensure this scenario is being changed. And most studies have pointed on the importance of the project manager. However, on complex mega infrastructure construction, according to a study, it shows that project managers management strategy shortfall to augment managers' competence to manage complexity is the major reason why infrastructure delivery has been poor in recent years. If in regards to timely delivery and delivery within budget. So we looked at and said, okay, if we need infrastructure to support urbanization, to support rapid population growth, to also support developing countries to industrialize, we need to have infrastructure. So how do we deliver infrastructure within time and budget, considering most developing countries are constrained, but they're financially constrained, so but they need this infrastructure. So how do we do that? When you look at when we talk about project management managers, not project management strategy not being able to augment competence of project managers. But when you look at from the picture in front of us, conventionally project managers rely on the use of drawing, going to the site physically to assess the work done, to also supervise. If they have to make a decision, they have to go on site. This approach or this process is tedious and it's counterproductive for project managers. Just imagine if a project manager supervising a 200-kilometer road network, he has to go around the road. How many times can he go in a year physically? This is quite tedious. Even if he has to drive a car around, it's quite tedious. So then when we look at the advent of technology has been redefining most industries globally. When you look at manufacturing, when you look at agriculture, when you look at person-to-person networking, these are the areas that have been revolutionized using technology. So then when you look at in construction, also the use of mobile computing, tablets have become mainstream. Also, when you look at the use of augmented reality, digital twin, these are things that have become mainstream in construction. And then you begin to, wonder why are project managers not competently performing? Then, according to International Project Management Association, that if project managers need to develop their competence, they should rely on education and training, gamification, simulation. But we argue that this approach is quite limited. It's limited because at the planning stage is effective, but when you come to the actual construction side, this approach is limited. How can project managers be able to, when they're faced with complexity, with this stop the project and go for a training and then come back? That's impossible. So we are of the opinion that we need an approach that can augment the project manager's competence in real time. An approach that is information driven, because information is the bedrock of successful construction delivery. And then when we look at from studies, they suggested the use of digital tools to improve performance in construction. And then we can also see from an industry like manufacturing that most of the strategies used in construction were benchmarked from. Production managers were able to integrate digital tools together to form a system that augmented their competence to manage complexity. So we're looking at this and we said, okay, why not? Let's also bring this idea to construction. Let's advise the industry, we need to integrate digital tools together to attain maximum benefit from the use of digital tools. And when you look at tools like barcoding, RFID, drone, augmented reality, prefabrication, 3D printing, each of these tools individually has a positive effect on construction. However, on the competence of the project manager, there's a need to integrate, combine, and harmonize these tools together to support the project manager. Because if you're using 3D BIM model to schedule and plan a project, the project manager can do that, but then to be more effective, to augment his competence, there's a need to combine with other tools, maybe like drone, RFID, to also support the project manager's planning and also to be able to communicate effectively. So when you can see these tools, they're becoming mainstream in construction, leader, digital twin, drone. These are tools that are used extensively in construction, but in most instances they're used individually. So this is the reason why they're not able to augment the competence of the project manager. We are of the opinion if these tools are being combined, the project manager should be able to plan, communicate, take decisive decisions, direct the project in an efficient manner. And you can see this complexity elements. When we talk about complexity elements, the height of the project, the number of participants elements, when you talk about the variety of drawings, these are inherent on infrastructure construction. They're not going away. The uncertainty methods, the variety of perspective, number of goals, these are elements that interact and need to challenge these constraining project managers from competently performing. When you look at the size of the project, it's going to constrain the project manager to be unable to communicate, to supervise effectively, and then combined with the number of participants, the number of the multiple project location. When you put this together, they lead to complex situations, and they challenge a project manager. He can't, or he or she can't be able to communicate or coordinate or supervise the project effectively. So we said, okay, let's go on the field and see how are these tools being combined. We wrote to companies that we chose a structured case study approach, using direct observation. We wrote to companies and we seek the permission to go on their site to monitor project managers and see how they interact with these digital tools. Well, choosing this approach is just to we try to ensure we eliminate bias, because if we were to interview project managers, their conviction or affliction towards the use of digital tools will determine their response. So we tried to eliminate bias, and we ensured that we went on site to observe the project directly. When we went on site, the first project we visited was a maritime university, a large, gigantic project along the coastline. Just imagine the size of the project, the number of the participants on that project, the number of elements, the multiple locations. If the project manager has to communicate, has to supervise this project competently, there's a need to augment his competence with technology, but then not just one. We need to combine these technologies together. On this project, where we witnessed, there was a challenge. It was about 3 kilometers away from the site office. Because project manager was in the site office. It was he sees it. He views it as a control center, a control room. So there was a challenge installing the elevator. The specialist contractor called the project manager. So when he recorded the challenge and sent a video clip, with this new mobile technology and drone technology, you have high quality 4K videos. So the project manager looked at it. He invited they had a collaborative platform on the mobile tablet. He invited the structural consultant who was in a different location, 1,000 kilometers away. He invited the stakeholders, and they had a meeting and they discussed on the best way forward. And he transmitted that back. And because they had CCTV cameras around, he was able to see what the contractor was doing, and he supervised him. And if there was any challenge, he call this attention. So these are the advantages of technology when using technology, when combining technology on construction projects. And also we visited, real projects, road projects. These projects have a long span. They span maybe 200 kilometers, 500 kilometers. So on this 200-kilometer road, the project began at two very ends, at the two extreme ends of the project. So equidistant, they had the project office, and at intervals they had a control point where they had the drones placed, and the project manager, they have the drones do the supervision. He goes to the project to see. And also, on this project, the major cause of complexity is how to schedule and delegate the use of plant and equipment. So they had this routing software, they had RFID technology on this equipment, and using GIS and BIM, every other day, the project manager runs a simulation to see the best way to utilize this equipment and plant so that work can be achieved efficiently. So after the simulation, he uploads the plant schedule on the platform, and also the routing software in real time delegates the use of the plant and equipment. So this enabled the project manager to be able to coordinate. He was able to communicate. He was able to make decisions. He was able to plan the project more comprehensively, and his competence was augmented. So this shows the importance of why we need to combine digital tools to complement each other to improve the construction process, and at the same time manage complexity, which certainly will ensure that infrastructure is delivered successfully. And project, when you look at the industry currently, most sites they make use of digital tools, just one in most instances, in some instances two, and they don't combine them, they use them differently. But with the uptake in the use of BIM, we use BIM on almost every project now. So BIM models, or BIM as the BIM models, the BIM information models are the platform where this integration, the combination of digital tools begin. When we have with the use of BIM models on every project, so every company should start integrating the use of more digital tools to ensure they're able to predict, estimate, and manage complexity on their project. And project managers also should take advantage of the findings from this study to know how to better utilize the digital tools they have, and also if there's a need to acquire another tool to complement what they have. The findings from this study can lead them towards that, and also companies can also use this the findings from this study to also know how to better utilize the use of their tools on site. And through our findings on this study, we understood that due to the ability of technology to augment human sensation, complex tasks or complex processes are being simplified for project managers. And also we found out that due to the efficacy of digital construction, it can support other project management strategies like lean, agile, to be more effective, on concurrent engineering to be more effectively applied during construction. We also found out that younger project managers tend to be more open to the use of technology. This has to do with generational, and also we found out that BIM models are actually mainstream now in construction, and due to the achievement in implementing BIM models, we're sure within the next decade, digital construction is going to be mainstream. And hopefully during the next conference, we'll see more research and more discussion on the combination of digital tools to form a digital construction strategy. We believe this is the best medium and the most proactive medium to support project management competence development for complexity management in construction. So I'm open to answering your questions. I'll be very happy to answer your questions. And hopefully during the next conference, we have more discussion and get to network more to know how to better implement digital construction as a strategy in construction, and also how to augment project management competence going forward. Thank you for your time.